Hello, tubers and tubettes. My name is David, and I live in Northern California, and I love California. Um, the reason I say that is I've lived here all my life, and it's a great, great place to live. We have problems, but I mean, they're not bad problems. They're not a lot of them. Anyway, yesterday I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's a retired police officer. He's also in the pool business too, working at another office. And as we were talking and stuff, I know he's having a little bit of a struggle, So when he asked me how many pools have I sold, I just immediately said, two pools. And I was doing it because I was trying to um, not make him feel bad, because things are still a little tough for some people, and especially him coming back into the business. And then also, I did it because I didn't want to appear like I was bragging, So yesterday after I said it, and I really try in everything I do not to lie or not to even mislead people. And so I felt really bad about it. I told my wife, and she goes, "Well, I'm sure it's because you felt, you didn't want to brag." And I go, "Yeah, no, that's part of it." And so this morning when I got up, I made an effort, to call him right away and to let him know, hey, I actually lied to you yesterday. I apologize. I said I sold two pools when in fact I sold five pools. So it's a big difference. And he goes, "No, no, no, it's not a problem." He goes, "I probably shouldn't even have asked you." I go, "No, I don't mind you asking me." In fact, he's the only person, second person, not the only, but the second person I've ever spent a lot of time training. I actually trained him. He was already good at what he did, but I showed him exactly what I do so he could take, you know, the way I say things and just to make him more successful because I just really like the guy. He's a police officer, which I do like police officers. I have a lot of respect for what they do, is what I should say. And so when I told him, I feel bad because yesterday I told you I sold two pools and I lied. I don't try to say like I didn't say the right thing or I misspoke or no, I lied. And the reason I lied, is I didn't want you to feel bad and I didn't want to portray myself as bragging. He's like, "No, no, no, no." He goes, "It's not a problem at all." I go, "I sold five pools so far this year. And I just wanted to, say it to you, just to clear it all up." And he goes, "Oh, no, no." He goes, "I have a pension. My wife has a pension. So this kind of money for us is kind of like fun money." I go, "Yeah, I know it's fun money, but it's also kind of frustrating when you're not selling. But I hope you know that what you're doing out there by doing the estimates, you're kind of planting seeds. And some of them will come back to us, in the summertime when you've got heat on your side. So right now to try to sell, when it's 47 degrees outside this morning, it's kind of hard to sell. You're trying to sell a pool, based on project the person projecting that they're going to be hot in the summertime and they want to have a be able to cool down. But in reality, um, we're always selling it. You know, we're always selling the thing of family. People, being together as a family. Enjoying their pool and stuff like that. In the summertime, it becomes a lot easier, but it's more frantic too. I don't look forward to it actually. When it was raining yesterday, I was like, I love this, because number one, I'm not running leads. I don't like to run leads in the rain, but I have. And number two, it's not too busy. I got two leads over the weekend. I've been calling both of them, and none of them have been responding to me. Neither one have been responding to me. And so one of them has his mailbox completely full up, so I can't leave a message. So that appears like I haven't even been calling them. But I'll continue calling and calling and calling. So yesterday I was off because I didn't have anything going on. Today I'm off because I don't have anything going on. Tomorrow I have a 10 o'clock appointment that's a potential sign up. But I've been working with them for like 3 or 4 weeks. And they sent me a nice message over the weekend saying how they really appreciated how I, sat and explained everything as clearly as I could. And I've had people say that to me and then go with another pool company. So I I don't ever count it until I'm actually got that contract and we've dug the pool, because they can even change it up until the time that we dig the pool. So anyway, I wanted to come clean with you guys too. Let you know that I'm not perfect. I do, fib, and I guess, but let's just call it lying. Sometimes to save somebody else that I'm talking to. I've had people ask me, "How much do you make? How much do you have saved? How much do you?" Some really personal questions, and I'm really good about not answering them, because just because somebody asks you a question, and this is something to keep in your own mind, just because somebody asks you a question does not mean that you have to answer it. You're the one that controls whether you answer a question or not. And I mean, sometimes people ask me questions, I don't even respond. It depends on how crazy it is. If they ask me some really personal questions about my family, I just won't even answer. So I think that's important to know that you have that right. I mean, anybody can ask you whatever they want to ask you, but you don't have to answer the question. So that's important to me. So my goal, I was telling my buddy, my goal is to sell 30 pools for the year. He said his goal is to sell 12. And last year I sold 13, which is the lowest year I've ever had. So this year I hope to sell 30, and that would really help me with getting my car projects moving forward, and paying off some stuff, some debt. And so that's my goal for this year. I mean, if I sell a little bit more, great. If I sell a little bit less, that's okay. It's not the end of the it's not the end of the world. But I do have to set a goal. I mean, if I don't have a goal, it's like saying uh, I want to go somewhere back east, but I don't know where it's going to be, so I just start meandering in all different directions to get there. Where if I say I'm trying to go to New York, then every day I can see what I'm doing to get to New York. That's the difference between goal setting and just letting life happen the way life happens. It sounds good, but you have to remember that even when you let life happen the way life happens, that is a goal. That's not a good goal, but that is your goal. It's just whatever happens, happens. I find that when I write down what I'm trying to do, like sell 30 pools, it's a lot better than writing down dollar amounts. Because if you're going to say, I want to make $150,000, then you may or may not do it. A lot of it is depending on the amount of leads that you have, and then it's also depending on how well you handle those leads and whether you ask for the business. So there's a lot of action things that have to happen, to hit a goal. Where if you just say a dollar amount, that's so vague that what is that a combination of? Well, I could do it with 30 pools, at 5,000 each, or I could do five, 500 pools at 30. Well, anyway, you could do it at different mathematical equations to get to 150,000. But what's realistic for me is I did 13 last year, double that. That should be about 26. In a normal year, I should be able to sell 30. So that's why I made it 30. And so now I know what I need to do to be able to get to 30. It's a certain amount of activity. It'll be around 120 pools. That's 1 in 4 closing ratio, to get to that. So now the leads have to come in. If the leads don't come in, I don't get that many leads, then that will be hard to get to my goal. So that's how I kind of look at goal setting for sales, what you do. And then in the sales process, there's certain things, I have to do. I mean, for instance, if I don't show up to the first appointment, that's going to really lower my closing ratio, maybe not even be able to see the people. So, I've got to call and confirm. I've got to show up on time. I got to be ready to go. I have to be not distracted. I have to go through my presentation. There's a certain sales cycle, they call it, of where I need to be. And you can talk about other things, but you need to stay on that sales cycle so that you can get to the end result, which is signing somebody up for a pool. I know my last one that I just did was really just, I wish I could have so many more like this because um, I met them last Monday. I did the second appointment on Friday, and then I did the sign up on Saturday. So it's really nice to see something happen like that. That's really nice. They had the cash and they're ready to go on it. But that doesn't always happen. Like this other couple that I'm meeting. They're both. Well, I met with the one gal first, and then I met with her wife the second time. So it's like having to go over everything again. And then the first gal, her name is Carrie. She's has a lot of questions, a lot of questions. I've never had anybody ask me this many questions, but that's why I don't try to sign them up. I try to answer every question, and I ask them at the end, "Is that all? Do you have any other questions?" And she usually has a couple more questions. So I want to that one I want to go slow, and I want to make sure that we covered everything so that there's no problem as we start to build it. So anyway, I got to meet with them tomorrow morning. I got to get up early in the morning to get my wife to her office by 6 o'clock, and then I'll have a couple of hours to do that plan. I don't have any other plans to do, so there's nothing else for me to do. But that's always a bummer because I like to have two or three plans and then I can just run through them on a Wednesday. But I don't think I have any other plans to draw. So I'll have to get through this one plan. And if I can get them signed up, that will be good. That will be my second one for March, and that will be my sixth one for the year. So I'm just going to keep you guys posted on it. This is the life of a pool salesman. And normally it's very, very solitary because I don't talk to anybody, other than people in the AM, PM and customers. So it's really nice to be able to talk and kind of express my feelings. And I'm going to definitely do it for the next 3 years while I'm working. And then I'll just see what happens after that. So I know for another 3 years I'm going to be doing this. And I wanted to start to get the material together at least for this next 3 years, and then see how I branch out into other things. So thank you very much for finding me. Subscribe if you can. That way we can stay together, and I know the videos will continue to get better. And I appreciate your guys' time. If you have a question for me, if you take the time to write it down as a comment, then I will take the time to respond to it. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.